Thus far, Jump Force Season 3 DLC has been absolute heat. Shoto Todoroki is unanimously loved throughout the community and is agreed upon that he was a well-made character. But that remains to question the remaining series from Jump Force Season 3 DLC that includes Yuyu Hakusho, Bleach, Hunter x Hunter, and JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. So in today's video, we're going to discuss the remaining characters for Jump Force Season 3 DLC. But before I get into all of that, hit that subscribe button, click that notification bell, enable all notifications for this channel to get all the best Jump Force Xenoverse 2 Dragon Ball FighterZ content, discussions, content, entertainment on YouTube. And of course, the quality is the name itself, perfection, and let's jump right into it. Now, the first series that we're going to talk about in this video is going to be Hunter x Hunter and their representative for Jump Force's Season 3 of DLC. Now, everyone is going to jump towards Muriel, and I understand why. He's Hunter x Hunter's equivalent of Perfect Cell, and he's everyone's favorite character from that series. But you're underrating so many other capable nin users from that series that would come into Jump Force and comprise a very creative moveset. In enters Shizuku Murasaki, a very capable nin user. Now, I know when you initially look at Shizuku, you just get the impression that she's your typical librarian, bookish type with glasses, and that would be your first mistake because she's actually a cleaner. And I ain't talking suits. Her nin ability, Blinky the Vacuum, allows her to clean up situations for her organization, if you get what I mean. And she also has some other very notable achievements. I mean, she made Gon use 100% of his strength in arm wrestling. She didn't even use her dominant arm. That should tell you that she earned a very high status in Hunter x Hunter. But also, like I highlighted Blinky before, that can create some very interesting super attacks, abilities, and a moveset overall that would be very welcomed into Jump Force. So, of course, as you know, Blinky is a vacuum, therefore Shizuku would suck. Literally. So the way that I have this envision in my head is that she would be purely a counter-based character. So let's say you got someone sitting back across from the map, camping, spamming Darken, or spamming fireballs, or what have you, and you use Blinky to absorb those attacks. And then you have another ability that after you use the vacuum or the suck ability, you can use another, like the reverse option. Like some vacuums have a reverse option. I think that's only like super old vacuums where you have a reverse option and you could fire out whatever's inside the vacuum. So with Blinky, you would suck up the ability and then you use the other ability or attack or super attack or whatever you want to call it, and you could fire out whatever ability you absorb. That would, I would love to see an ability like that, because then she would have a open-ended moveset with huge creativity. Now, combo wise, I would want her to be both a long and, mid-range combatant where she could like suck people into her combo range if they're like out of reach, which would make her a very tricky and devastating character. So like if you're too long out, she could just use maybe her triangle combo, suck you in, and just, do different stuff with the vacuum, like different like combo gestures and launches and pokes and whatnot. Like I have a clear vision of what I want this character to do, but the main staple is to suck up and counter attacks, launch them back out. Maybe whatever ultimate they want to come up with Shizuku would be interesting, but that's what I want out of this character. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Now, moving on to the next series, I have to highlight a fan favorite, and it's become even more of a fan favorite because it's on its road back. Of course, I'm talking about Bleach. Now, from Bleach, we just got Captain Hitsugaya. Everyone loves that character. He's pretty cheesy in the right hands. He can be a very devastating cheese character if you know how to use him. But more importantly, I think that we're due for another character outside of a captain. often. Everyone is hedging their bets on Byakuya or Kenpachi, and I have to say that I disagree, because Jump Force always tries to keep some kind of balance between good and evil for each series. For like, example, we got Dragon Ball, we have 2 villains, and granted we have 3 or 4 good characters, but they always try to keep a decent number. They try to keep it balanced if they can, but you don't have a severe lacking of villains like you do in Bleach. And trust me, in Bleach, the only villain or adversarial character that we currently have is the man in the chair, Aizen. So I would have to think that we have to get a villainous type character, another Arrancar, another Espada, and I have to say that that character has to be Coyote Stark. Yes, and more. Yes. Now, Coyote Stark, he has a very unique moveset, and I think that he would work awesome in Jump Force. Now, one of the key elements to that character is that he can fire Cero without being a combat jester, meaning that he could fire it just while absolutely standing still. So there's no giveaways to what he's doing. And I think that would translate well in Jump Force. So just imagine the character standing there, no charge, well, maybe a slight 1 to 2 frame charge animation, and he just immediately fires out a Cero, because that's what he's known to do in the anime. So I want to see them translate that into Bleach, and this would deal with spammers, campers, people that constantly run away, because you wouldn't be able to accurately predict Coyote Stark, because he'd just be able to whack you with a Cero. Another thing that he's able to do, and that's very unique to him, is that he uses 2 gat-like weapons when he goes into his resurrection form, and I think that would be very intriguing to see it in Jump Force, because that only amplifies what he's already able to do with the initial Cero. So he can use like a barrage or volley of this attack, and I want him to be broken like Ichigo is already in Jump Force. I mean, if we're gonna have one broken character, you're gonna go years without nerfing him, you might as well introduce some more to kind of give some variety to the game. So speaking of broken and overpowered, I have an imagine for his awakening that his projectiles turn into wolf pack attacks. So basically in the anime, Coyote Stark could change his Cero projectiles into actual wolves that would chase down the opponent and attack. So basically that would be the big change for his awakening state. So Coyote Stark would be a even better Rio as it stands in the game right now, but not just like the only thing that I would not have him do is slow down time with his projectiles, because I feel like that's just way too broken. Like that's the problem with Rio right now. But I would have him be broken and overpowered in, justifiable ways, if you get what I'm trying to say here. So the next character we're going to be talking about actually comes from the Yuyu Hakusho universe, and he's actually one of my favorite antagonists throughout the series, and he's the first big antagonist out of the Yu Yu Hakusho series. Of course, I'm talking about the one and only Rando. Now, I know a lot of people credit Toguro and the Toguro brothers as being the first big antagonists of the series, but if you actually watch Yu Yu Hakusho, it was actually Rando. He shows up during the Genkai tournament, and the big thing about him is that he's a master of many techniques. Like throughout the ages, he's gone to different martial artists and he's mastered their signature techniques, and he's very adaptable. Like he could take a technique and project it at an even higher level of power, like sort of similar to how Majin Buu was doing when he started absorbing different individuals in Dragon Ball Z. Like he started becoming Buu tanks, using special beam cannon and the ghost attacks, and they were way stronger than their original incarnations. That's what I have imagined for Rando. So what I would have his moveset end up being is the red spirit projectile technique from Yusuke Urameshi. That's what I have imagined for him. So it would be a red version. It would do a lot more damage and would be faster. So I have it imagined being sort of like Trunks's what is that move? Burning attack, where it's really fast, it travels across the map, but it's basically just a red spirit projectile technique. Next attack is the red fireball techniques that he did while he was disguised. Oh man, I'm trying to think. Like, it would be, the way that I have it imagined is that it would work similarly to Lord Slug's move in Xenoverse 2, the Darkness Twin Star attack. And basically it would form a protective barrier around Rando that he can switch up and use as tracking projectiles on the map. So what I'm going for with Rando is giving him coverage, like different things that his moves do and different purposes that they serve, like defense and offense. And I think, oh man, I wish I could come up with the official name for it. If I do, I'll put it on screen. But another attack that I want him to do is the wind vacuum technique that he did. And basically what this technique does in the anime is that it takes all the air away from a fighter. And it's basically it's a wind gust technique. So I have this imagined as being like a even better version of Majin Buu's technique, where he'll suck an opponent in and he can blow them out. What I would want to do here is that where Rando could stand anywhere on the map, maybe he jumps into the air. Like, he takes a stance in the air, like after you get finished doing like a Kaioken attack or a perfect attack with Cell, you know how they get hung up in the air. Rando would jump into the air and he could hit the opponent with that attack from any point on the map. And I mean, this would serve a purpose and a utility purpose to punish campers and to punish people that jump block all the time when you don't have an ultimate. So that's what I have imagined for Rando. Now, for his ultimate technique, I don't know how we get to incorporate the hate fish or the demon fish. Like, immediately I would think that that would be his ultimate. Also, I could see him doing the reduction technique, where quickly he would reduce the size of the opponent and maybe do some kind of like crush or elbow drop technique or something, and he like punched them away and they return their original size or something. And maybe in that reduction, maybe one of the side effects could be that their attack and defense are reduced, so they do less damage and they're even more susceptible to higher amounts of damage. That's what I have imagined. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and maybe we can append that in a future video. So now it's time to talk about JoJo's Bizarre Adventures and their Jump Force Season 3 DLC representative. And of course, we're going to go to JoJolion Part 7 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, of course, after Steel Ball Run and Golden Wind. And we're going to talk about the fan favorite character. And no, it's not Josuke. We're going to actually be talking about the fan favorite character of JoJolion, Kyo Nijimura. Yes, yes, and more yes. Kyo Nijimura from JoJolion coming into Jump Force Season 3 DLC. Now, there's a lot of reasons for this character being added, aside from her being a fan favorite character, aside from us having a underserved female character roster in Jump Force. I think currently we have either 5 or under 5, which I think is just completely ridiculous. But also, this character has a lot of moveset potential that we haven't seen in Jump Force. Now, of course, if you know the stand, she has to stand Born This Way, and I see Born This Way as being a mobility character in this game that allows Kyo to get from place to place relatively quickly. I want to see a movement or mobility gimmick in the game where this character functions uniquely from the rest of the characters. Of course, she would still have dashes, charge dashes, and different stuff like that, but I want to make her basic movements so fast and mobile that people really have to play a game of in your face with that character. Like, I don't want to see it where this character is moving slow around the map. I want them zipping, I want them moving, I want them to force the opponent to have to get in your face. This is where Born This Way comes in, because they can play both aggressive and long distance. So the abilities that I have imagined for this character are Ice Shard attacks is one of the abilities, where it would actually be better than Captain Hitsugaya or Grimmjow's ice attacks. Like, currently they're just like slowly tracking projectiles. I want these ice projectiles to be quickly tracking, where you project them and they go fast, just like in your face, to where if you let this character post up at a distance, you do so at your own risk. That's what I'm going for with Born This Way. I want this character to promote in your face gameplay, not this current system that we have where people just sort of camp and play across the map. Also, we have to have, unfortunately, another ice breath attack. Like, yes, because Born This Way does freeze people in place, and I don't want to give that ability to her ice shard where she can freeze people in place, because I think that would be a little bit OP. Again, I'm not opposed to overpowered DLC characters. I mean, if you pay for the character, you want to get bang for your buck, but I want to see this character have some diversity, some mobility, to be able to restrict the opponent's mobility and do all those sort of things. Now, the stand in universe does this and reacts to the opening of doors, so I don't really see that being able to translate into Jump Force, so that's one aspect that we can't ignore. But ultimate wise, I want to see them do sort of like a Batman Injustice type of ultimate for Kyo, where maybe she rams into the opponent and launches them into the air, or maybe leaves them on the ground. I don't know. Maybe she just charges Born This Way towards them with maybe some ice armor or something and maybe runs them over. Like, I'm really trying to think about some of my head. Maybe we can leave that to the developers, because they do have a knack for coming up with creative ultimates for their characters. So that's been Kyo Nijimura. Let me know what you think in the comment section below about this selection. I feel like she is very important and should be the JoJo Bizarre Adventures representative for Jump Force Season 3 DLC. And of course, that's been all my picks. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Of course, hit that subscribe button, click that notification bell, enable all notifications for this channel to get all the updates as they become available. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.